In the mountain valley, diplomacy is dead, and the Baron is coming for everything. Before we can even command an army, we must struggle to survive the winter, starting with nothing but a tent and a dream of an empire. Or they say that an army marches on its stomach, and ours marches full. From a starving outpost to the ultimate war machine. Well, everybody, and welcome back to Manor Lords. So today we're going to be taking over the Mountain Valley. Apparently now in the game, there will be ox carts, so we're going to explore that as well. Let's take a peek at what resources we have. We have rich stone and rich clay. Right off the bat, we have a vibrant economy. So do we need to grow barley? Do we need to grow ale? Not if we keep a modest population. We can actually do everything here. Now, we do have the annoying split, where we have our early game food of mushrooms and animals in different spots. So we're going to move these animals closer to the mushrooms. And the way we're going to do that is with the shrine. If you place it on a tree, it will destroy the tree, but if you place it like this, it just moves it. That's right, Bambi, you've gotten evicted. There we go. So now we have our animals right next to our clay deposit. So just clean up these shrines, and we have a good thing going on over here. So we got our first building. So what I would like to do is, we have clay here, stone here. This is perfect. We're going to create a massive industry zone right here. So starting off, we want to get our wood going as fast as possible. So let's get a logging camp. Oof. So this is one problem with this area. Not a whole lot of wood. We want to keep this as tight as possible, right? Get the logging camp up. Then we're going to get a hitching post. Order our second ox. And start building up the houses. We want to do this as close as possible. We should get our first family at the start of April if we do this correctly. Boom, boom, and boom. And these will be artisan houses. See, it is a bright, sunshiny day. We have our gentleman moving across the way. There we go. So he's going to take these logs, and we're going to get up our first logging camp right here. Feed this along. Okay, and now that the logging camp is completed, we're going to place 3 families into the logging camp. We have the protect resource area on, so we don't have to worry about them squashing our animals or our mushrooms. Now they're going to focus over here on the 3 houses. Okay, so we still need a few more timber. They're doing their darndest to do. And we're going to build 1 house at a time until we have a total of 6. Alright, so now we got 3 timber. So we're going to get 1 of the houses up. Go. Got 2 more timber. Get house number 5 up. Alright, and then the last 2 timber, we're going to try to get that 6th house up. It will allow us to have our maximum amounts of families. We're going to pull 2 families off the logging camp in order to try to get this done by the end of the year. Got the 2 ox now, moving along just fantastic.
I'll go deaf from all that hammering.
Bingo. Right before the end of March, so now we'll be able to get an extra family. So, one thing we want to look at is, before we pick anything, is what kind of terrain do we have here? So you can see the elevation patches, right? The sheep are placed in those regions, they will perish. So you don't want to do that, unless you're, weird. So what we're going to do, make sure that we don't put our sheep over there. That's great. So for this region, we're going to go with the tried and the true just for the cash, right? Regensburg Guildman. We're going to get that increased regional wealth from burgage plots, reduced burgage plot upgrade costs, salt and iron ore import value reduction, at the cost, of course, of land tax approval malice. But who cares? And let's unlock that. They get a little pissy when they get taxed. It's no big deal. They'll get over it. Alright, now what we need to focus on, of course, is the bare necessities. Actually, let's do the hunter's camp right here. Look at this. Look at this. And our mushroom berry gatherer right here. Oh, that's a beautiful thing right there. And then, of course, we'll just get the granary up right across the street. We're in business. We're in business. We also want to start preparing for the future so that our peasants do not freeze to death. That would be bad. And we'll place him right over here. Alright, so let's watch this all be constructed. Okay, hunting camp. We'll place one family in there, one family in the forager, and they're going to start working on the granary here momentarily. Let's get one of the extra families into the logging camp to help us catch up there. We're progressing along with the woodcutter down here. And it looks like the woodcutter will now be built up. Perfection. Okay. So we're going to place one family into the woodcutter, start getting those things going. Come back over here and let them finish the granary. Right on. Now with the granary finished, place one family here. Pull one family at the logging camp. It is April 18th. We need to get an additional house. Now, what we want to do is prepare ourselves for a great future. And that future involves vegetables. So we're going to road here, and we're going to kind of do an I formation because they do look cool. We'll eventually also get market stalls and things of that nature right up now. So let's first look to see if we can have water here. Look at that. Perfect well location right there. And then the market stalls will go off to the side right here. There's a beautiful market area. 28 stalls maximum. We're also going to take a road. Let's actually take this well and put it over here. That way we can get a road across right here for the granary to go and get the goods. Is have a road dead center. This, and we're going to have an enormous amount of historical burgage plots right here. Now I have 7. So for these burgage plots, we want them to be pretty awesome. So what we're going to do is something really simple. It's just going to be 2 corpse pits for the height and 1 across for the width. This is going to give us a simple plot that's going to produce a lot of veggies. Don't need to overthink it. And let's make sure that it is perfectly flat. It's just good to use these as measuring devices. It makes it very easy. There you go. We have our plot. And to get our next plot, all we need to do is slap down a corpse pit, put in the hunting camp, and we have our width for our perfect historical plot. Now we're going to place down 2 burgage plots that will be used for agriculture and farming. So pretty simple, not crazy maximize. You got a good backyard, you get a decent collection point. It's going to do the job. So we're going to get 2 of those up for now, and let's watch them build that out. And there we go. So, we have 2 available living spaces for people to move into. We're going to get up the burgage plot here. We're going to keep this open so that someone has a spot to move in. Even though it's May 16th, out of abundance of caution, I hate doing that stuff. So we're building out this second house right here. They're almost done with it. It's a very fast process. Now we can get this guy up too. Now that we got the woodcutter out over here, we're going to need ourselves a secondary road. Now we're going to have a sizable industry over here. So the trade post and a lot of that stuff should be kind of centrally located to these goods. Now we can just bring the clay. Oof, didn't think about that. That's going to be a fun one. Oh no, sir. Cause migration. Okay, we need to move our animals one last time. That's not bad. That's not bad. We can work with that. We can work with that. We got it exactly where I wanted it. So now we're going to come over here and start building out our industry area. So of course, the storehouse right here, place it like that. And we're going to use a 2-road wide area here. And that's simply because of the way trade carts can sometimes run into each other, and it's rather annoying. And we'll get up trade probably pretty quickly, in fact, because we have some good stuff to trade, and we can make a lot of money. With the storehouse going up, we're probably going to get a logging camp down here. And I say that we do that all right now. So let's move the logging camp over here into this clearing. Bring the road down. Beautiful. And across from the storehouse is where I'm going to put our sawmill. Here is where our saw pit will go. Actually, right here. Yeah, we'll have the trade post right across the street. Boom. Hunter's still very close. We're getting the berries. Got the 2 types of food. So let's let him get these 2 items up. We have plenty of firewood. If I check, 6 months, not bad. We have 3 free families out of 7. We're growing very, very quickly. And look at that. Got ourselves our storehouse of spears and shields. We're going to place 1 family into the storehouse. We have our granary worker going, which is fantastic. Now, because we chose that perk, this perk, we are getting a regional wealth per burger's plot from the start of the game. This is allowing us to save up for the big ticket items. Our first carrot farm. So we're aiming for that pretty hard. Now with the storehouse worker moving everything along, we need to start building up to at least 20 spearmen so that we can go and attack a bandit camp and use that wealth to build up our area. Wonderful. Now that we have the saw pit up, we'll place a family there. Go to the advanced tab, set a timber reserve of 10. This is so we can build a church. Set a plank production limit of somewhere around 100, just because sometimes it's nice to have a lot of it. And we need to let them get this logging camp back up and get everyone over here back into the fray. Bingo. Let's get 2 families in there. We have a lot of needs. Now, I think a good trade would be just to take straight clay and sell it. So as soon as I get enough planks, we should get up our first clay and or stone. Arguably, stone is actually better because you get 2 trade. You get rough stone and the other stone. So we're going to place the trading post right across the street from the storehouse for that reason. Very quick trade. And once we get 6 boards, we're putting up the quarry. Bingo. Trade post up. And we definitely need a little bit of wood. Now we also have pelts that we can trade. Pelts currently can't be used for anything but trade. So we're going to go that route. We're going to get a 3rd family into the logging camp because we just really need that wood. And there is a bit of a distance and a bit of a gap. I just kind of like it being in the clearing. I think it looks cinematic. Alright, now that we have 12 timber, plank production will start. I also think that we should take these hitching posts and move them down here. That way it's just a little bit faster for everybody involved. Alright, we have our 6. So you can stack these pretty easily. We're going to place one right here. And I think that's going to be more than we need, to be quite honest. I don't even bother with the surface stone. I just go straight into quarries, to be honest. We're at 100% food variety and 100% general good variety. Now, we're not going to upgrade the large granary yet, because we only have enough stone currently to build our first church, which is a very important step in order to make sure everybody's happy. So we need 20 planks for that church. Now let them get to work. We have only 1 free family. I'm going to steal one from the logging camp because I like to keep one to guide the ox. I'm going to place him into the quarry immediately, get him to work. Now we will need to import iron or tools. Most likely we're just going to straight up import tools. If you look at everything involved at the beginning of the game, you're only losing about 2 regional wealth per tool if you were to import the iron ore and make it yourself. So if we were to import iron ore, even with our bonus, it would cost us 11, right? So we can skip that whole thing. Now we got a bandito camp here. We're going to set our limit right now to 5 because we're poor. We're also going to get up the vegetable gardens on both of these plots. So you can see why I like these plots. Simple, they're straightforward. Much like these bandito camps. Now we're going to plow through them with our mighty forces. Make sure you're not running to position. Oh wow, we already triggered them. Get in formation, 2 men thick. This will reduce casualties. Go into stand your ground. This is meant to absorb the charge damage. Here they come. So now you can see we're in a position to absorb the charge. And let's watch this fight. And we have been victorious. No casualties. Let's go get our loot and build out our first veggie plots. So we will let them run a little bit. Now we're gonna strut. We're gonna strut to our victory. They are not strutting fast enough. Okay, we have reached the location. So we're gonna send that to the nearest town. Now we're gonna walk over to the new brigands over here. And it is so important that you walk, otherwise you will lose stamina, gain fatigue, and that will make it more likely that we will lose somebody. So now that we have 156 coins, we're going to go into carrots. And if we have enough money, which we do, we're going to go into beetroots. And we'll get up another plot, don't you worry, to get that cabbage. We'll also be getting up fruit stands and all types of stuff. We'll also be getting up burgage plots to grow apples, pears, quince. Currently, we're at 100% on everything. We're doing fantastic. We do have no available living spaces, so it is imperative that we start getting up other houses. Now, we're going to focus on the fruits, and then we'll go into... I like to focus on 2 types, and then go for the 3rd types for the applicable veggies and every other guy. But I will say that for fruits, I use something called the 6-pack. We're going to use a modified 6-pack. It's going to be, though, at least 3/4 tall. So it's technically like a 4.5 pack, okay? I know people like to get technical. And look at that. We line up perfectly. Now, what I've noticed with fruits is you don't have to be exact. They're not as needy as vegetables are. So you can get away with Frankenstein-type setups. And I kind of like that, because you can contort with the landscape. So over here, we are going to have a massive, massive apple area. And we're going to have one big plot. And we're going to need all the families for this one. That's a cool one. And then over here, similar setup. But this will just be for quince, probably. Boom. And that will allow us to grow a lot of apples and a lot of quince. Alright, the banditos are very angry, and they're coming straight at us. So, get in a 2x2 formation. Hold stand your ground, and absorb that beautiful charge. You gotta love this map, though. And we're gonna breeze through this fight, because I've already shown you one recently. And now that they've hit us, we've absorbed their charge. We're gonna push forward. There we go. We lost nobody. And that's because we had maximum stamina. So now we can run. We can do whatever we want. We're going to get the remainder of this cash and hopefully grow some kind of fruit. The sooner the better. We want to get our food variety up as fast as possible. So let's place this in the nearest town. But yeah, now we can run back. What we want to do here is get the orchards up fast as possible. Let's try getting stables now at the hitching posts. But we need to get the men back. What happens when the men aren't here is not all the jobs get done. So, because you're at half labor, basically. Okay, and we're probably accumulating some great stuff. We need to definitely upgrade our large storehouse, so we're going to do that as well. The saw pits run strong. Trade post definitely needs a family as soon as possible. These guys are back. Let's get them running amok. We're going to momentarily pull one of the families out of the logging camp to assist with all the construction projects that we have. And boom. Got ourselves a large storehouse. Perfect. Now that this is up, we've, unfortunately, you need a lot of money. 510. So let's boom that. Let's get that second family. We need to go into trade absolutely immediately. So with our money, what we're going to do instead is buy dedicated trade routes for the production that we have currently, which is rough stone. We are not going to trade more than 20. We're going to keep 20 for ourselves, I should say. We're not at this time going to buy a dedicated trade route because we don't have sufficient quantity to warrant that. We're going to export every single pelt that we have it to. That will be instrumental in getting us where we need to be. And rubble, we're going to export anything we have over 30. So we're in a really good place. This doesn't trade for a whole lot. And with firewood, let's go for anything over 100. We also need to ensure that we have the applicable hitching posts next to the trade post, which we will upgrade into stables and order a horse for. We're going to place a second family into the quarry. I want to get this going. That should give us some money coming in. 255 to get the quints. That would probably be what we start with. And I may be on this guy over here. That might be cheaper. Now, we're also going to want to get some massive pork production as soon as possible. One cool thing about moving this area back behind us is now we have the capacity to build piggies. So we're going to build out 5 slots here, and these are all going to be for pigs. And we're going to get that going up ASAP. We have currently 4 months worth of food, so it will be very, very important for us to get these hauls of veggies in as soon as possible. Winter is coming. Winter is actually upon us now. So hopefully we will get through this, and on the other side have a bountiful harvest next year. Let's take a peek. Ooh, yeah, you gotta love the graphics, man. They're so good. All right, look at that. We got 20 rough stone in there. Got our trade post a trading, and we're making the cash. This is a beautiful day for all, except for these lads, except for these poor souls. Toiling. I don't know. They're whistling. They seem all right. And I'm still waiting to see the beautiful ox cart. I wonder if the ox carts are used in farming. That would make a whole lot of sense because oxes have been used historically in this game to pull lots of crops off fields. So that's where I'm thinking that action's going on. What would be cool though is if the granary, which we're going to upgrade immediately after building a church, maybe it has the ox carts. Who knows? The mysteries of the ox cart. So we need 5 wood for the ox cart. I need to let them catch up. We currently have 3 free families. So let's place 3 into the logging camp. And let's get some wood coming in. You can see the ox are dragging them logs. We should probably have, as you can see, some kind of road coming around here and just kind of connecting the industry zone. I want to make it level like that. There we go. That looks nice. Now they have a cleaner path. And over here, you can see we need 165 and 330 and 510. Okay, I think this is where we start. 165 is very doable for us. And we're looking good. The city is coming along incredibly nicely. I'm really digging the vibes. Winter is probably one of the coolest periods in this game, just because of all the little aesthetics you can see. All the, look at that. We got frost on these trees. It's pretty cool. That's 4K frost trees. Okay, so our next objective is to get the church up. And I think we're going to place the church kind of in a neutral zone. This actually isn't too bad of a spot right here. So let's do it right there. Actually, hold up. Let's get this in first. I want to make sure that we have room for everything. So, right there. That was really close. That was really close. I thought I lost there for a second. All right, get the church up back corner here. Might want to put a quarry there. You know what? I don't think so. I think 1 quarry is all we need. We haven't even gone the full distance of increasing the maintenance and maxing it out, so we're in good shape. Let's watch this being constructed. And bingo. Now the church. Well, let's come over here, upgrade this granary. We'll let that do that in the background. We're getting close to having the 165 we need for the quints. Now that we have this mining pit coming in play, we can start thinking about selling clay tiles, which are actually very lucrative, and shaped stone. So there's a lot that we need to do. I would advise that we try to build this area in over here. So clay furnace in the back, and stonemason station right here. Yeah, like this. And then I'm gonna have a pathway kind of connecting these spots. This corner. Go. Now the other thing we need to think about, once we get a little bit of cash, this whole area here, you don't want to put sheep. If we do any kind of sheep, we're gonna want to do it in this area. And I'm actually kind of thinking, honestly, right here, not a bad spot. So let's get the sheep area up. Sheep farm here. Now we're only going to need 30. To be honest, 50 would be extreme overkill for the size of this village. We'll line it up with this guy. And we're going to keep it simple this time. I'm not going to do my typical cross because we're just going to only have a few fields. This gives us 21. And again, like I said, we only really need 30, 22. We'll just do a wing formation right there. And this actually does mean that we can pull road to the back like this. Have it. Go. Decent enough to me. We got several things in play right now in the community. Watch them build that out. Okay, everything is built up now. So we should definitely start shaping stone, getting ready to trade. I'm gonna say all of it. Go over to the trade. This is one that we're actually gonna buy a trade route for at 50. And we want to export every single piece that we make at 5. That's pretty good. Clay tiles we'll get into here in a second. Have to start gathering clay, which I'm not quite ready to do. The granary being upgraded. Still, just a few more pieces there. I think we're in good shape. And what's important about going the granary to the high tier is more carts and lower spoilage rates. Pretty important thing to do. And look at that. We got tier 2 houses. Let's go tier 2 on all these burgage plots for fruit and veggies to increase the pantry size. Right now the pantry is capped. And then over here we'll do piggies. So we do need to get a couple of these houses to tier 2. And we do have the banditos. So we're going to go for the banditos and get their loot. Oh, nice. They're right here. We want to deny the Lord. The best way to make sure the Lord doesn't take territories is to deny him combat. That's, you get a lot of influence from these bandits. Okay, here they come. Alright, charge has been absorbed. Let's get on this. Clean them up. There we go. Not a single person lost. Now let's get over here before the Lord tries to steal from us. We're going to take that money. We got 103 regional wealth. See what we can do with it. They're still getting this second burgage plot up, so let's get that going. Okay. So yeah, we can get the quinces going. There we go. That will give us fruit here in a couple, I think 1 or 2 years. We're also going to start pushing into pigs almost immediately, if I can. That's beautiful right there. We're definitely a little low on food, so we're going to let our food reserves catch up. Get these upgraded to stables. Come down here. Let's purchase another ox. Gotta feed that ox addiction. Got 3 ox, which is not a lot. Okay. And now we can go down the line buying pigs. And they're about 25 a pop, and that's not bad. And there we go. And if we look at ourselves, And if we look at our record, we're kind of hit or miss right now. Tools are taking a lot of our money, and we need to do better. All right, we have 6 free families. Let's place one into the mining pit. Place one into the clay furnace. And then the next thing that we want to do is immediately start trading anything over 20, I'm going to say. Not 200, 20. And we're going to need a little bit of cash. So that's the next route we're going to establish. We're trading dress stone and clay tiles, which is pretty amazing. And I will say, after my tier 4 run, we were making so much passive regional wealth per house. I'm going to take every house here to the highest tier. It's the money you get is just absurd. It is absurd. I didn't think that until I played my last match and I had everybody at tier 4. The tier 4 will basically allow us to buy all of our alcohol without breaking a sweat. Now, if we have the capacity to, we really are going to need at least bread. So emmer, rye, all those things are grown primarily down here. That's not bad. So what I would like to do is get up some very simple plots. Each of these plots should be at least a Morgan or more. 1.2 is a beautiful area for us. Try to get as much here as we can. 0.2. Now, we're not growing any of this for trade. This is purely consumption. And you can see that barley fertility through here is, oh my gosh, not very good. We're not going to get a lot of logs out of here too, just for the nature of everything. But I will say that this is going to do pretty decent. And what we're going to do, and I have explained this before, if you grow wheat and rye, they share the same fertilities. So what you want to do is just grow one or the other. Barley at 13%. Kind of like, why not, right? But it's also kind of like, why? We're going to do it anyway. So we're going to do wheat once. Wheat will convert into 4 bread when we get a baker extension or a communal oven. And typically, you always get 2 anyway. So I think, if you look at wheat, you can also see, though, that there's a fertility difference. So I think what we're going to do is 2 wheat and 1 rye, just because of the fertility differences. And we'll grow a little bit of barley just because. Okay. We're going to grow rye here and barley. And we might get 1 or 2. We might get like 17. That should be pretty sufficient for what we're trying to do. So also what we'll need over here is a hitching post for that farm. That will be something we do at a later period. It's definitely, we're going to have to import certain things that we can't produce here. And if we go over here, we can see that this has 2 rich deposits, so it has no farmland. This has 1 rich deposit, so this would be where we would need to import anything from. But if we keep ourselves small, we don't have to rely on interconnected trade to hit tier 4. We'll be able to just buy it. And let's upgrade these hitching posts to stables. Now we got a little bit of cash. We want to buy this trade route next. I did need to get some basic infrastructure up though. And we're going to get a plowing station. And look at that, we're getting that beetroot right now. That's pretty awesome. It's coming in strong. Got ourselves a nice view. And unfortunately, all of our money is going into the purchasing of tools, so we're a little broke. I'm trying pretty hard to get that trade route. Buying trade routes is super important. Yikes. Export anything over 99? No. Did export anything over 20? There we go. Okay. That will give us some money. For some reason, I hit a button and went 99. We're going to cap this at 10 for our imports now. We're going to need it. Place another family over into the trade post. From the stable back here, order a horse. Let's assign that horse. That will help out too. We'll be able to go out and do our own trades. Okay. Now, we can create additional logging camps just for storage, which is a very wise thing to do. We're going to place one there just for storage. I'm going to beat this down to 1 individual. 1 family, I should say. So what we're going to have over here is a livestock trader. Put it in the corner. That way we can get some sheep. Once I get this last trade route established, we're gonna have that sheep. We have a few clay tiles, not a whole lot. But yeah, once we're ready to sell, we should have a good amount. Also get up a forester's hall in this area. There we are, 183. So we're gonna buy this trade route here. Now the money starts to roll. It's probably wise to buy the trade route for rubble stone. Every time you buy one of these, it buys a dedicated person to come to your town with a wagon to purchase those things. Pretty important to do when you have just a massive quantity of anything. We got all piggies. Let's get all the pigs here. Yeah, we got a bandit camp. We do have a tier 2 building over here, so let's start getting bows going. We have 186 turns until the bandito raid. But maybe we can get over here and maybe we can steal this. Pause the game real quick. We do have a boyer. Let's start making bows. And let's get our next unit here in a moment. We're creeping over here. There we go. We made the run. Let's get over there and get the money. Possible I won't win. They're probably going to break them before I can get up the hill. Oof. Yeah, I'm not going to make it, unfortunately. That was a toughie. That was a toughie. For the upgraded church, all we need is 10 mortar. And what's kind of crazy about that is I could make it very easily, but I'm lazy, and I don't want to build a building. And it's an easy route. I don't have to pay for it. We'll just order 10. We're going to upgrade this church next, because that's an easy one. Get these gents back to work. So ideally now, we're going to save up the 510 regional wealth we need to purchase the apples, as it is going to take around 3 years for them to reach their full maturity. This is a bit of a sore thing, because you need to be thinking that far out at this stage of the game. We're currently, of course, in year 2, so we're talking about year 5 hitting our first maturity. Now, I will say, you will get minor yields leading up to that point, so it's not like you have to wait for some kind of benefit totally, but for the full impact, unfortunately, a very long time. So we want to get that up soon, too. Coming over to our records, we can see in the last 365 days, we are net 470. So we're selling an insane amount of things. And we need to dial this in a little bit more. But you can see Shapestone is the real winner at 445. Makes up a large chunk of everything. And I just realized I accidentally clicked full trade. I didn't know that was a thing. Full trade means we will trade excess, but we'll also import if we go below something. Because I just saw that we were spending money. Holy cow. So yes, we're going to export anything over 20. That is crazy. Crazy town. And I'm actually going to boot this up because we are using a lot of the rough stone. So let's say anything over 40. With that said, one of the things that I want to do is double this. So we're going to go from 3 to 6 tools a year. And we're going to go all in on the quarry and make sure that we can get as much as possible. Now, because of this, we do need to consider that the large storehouse is likely to become full relatively soon, in fact. So let's get up the lip over here. Beautiful. And let's get ourselves an additional storehouse to absorb that excess good. Right. So yeah, things are about to get crazy over here. And we may have to tone it down a bit. That's why I was saying you could probably get away with one quarry. Now, the object here is to make the most efficient cities that we possibly can, conquering and taking every single region until we win the game, essentially, and control the entire mountain valley. Okay, now that we do have 348, once we get up our apples, we're going to immediately shift to getting sheep and getting clothing. I would like to get to tier 4 as fast as possible to generate massive passive wealth, which will allow us to sustain this little settlement here. Now, we do have enough money that we can come and take this other region here. And with the salt, we can import it over here with the pork that we're producing to make sausages. Now, I would advise, because we have meat and we have surface salt here, that we go all in on the pigs. And we build basically just like a meat empire and sausage empire here to help with the tier 4 housing. Let's speed this up and keep it going. Also going to order another horse for this area here, the trading post. And it does look like we need another individual over here in the mining pit for clay. We're running pretty low. I want to make sure that we're trading everything we possibly can. We got some good stuff going on here. In the advanced tab, we need to make sure that we are regrowing these forests. So we're going to get a big work area for this gent. We have no more available living space. We're pretty much dedicated to our craft right now. It is time, of course, to expand these areas over here. And we're just going to eyeball it because eyeballing it is pretty good. And we'll take him all the way down here. This will be for pears. Like I said, we want to make sure that we're growing a little bit of everything. Especially at the late stage of the game, you need every tier you possibly can get in order to maintain that happiness, you know, and get that tax. Go. Oof. This is a little bad. You know what? I think we're going to do 2. We'll do 2 cabbages there. I think that might work out for us. We're going to mix it up a bit. And over here, though, this is perfect for pears. Yeah, that's a good utilization of the territory there. We'll get these houses up, get some additional families. We have 114 turns until we are engaged in combat. And as you can see, the banditos have pretty much run away. We're going to upgrade the secondary storehouse. So far, I feel like we're getting away with the one large granary, and we may be able to continue to do that. The pigs are bringing in pork, which has been highly advantageous. We need clothing and booze now. So that is another factor that we need to consider. The manor is definitely next on the list. I think we should try to find a clearing that nobody is using. This, to me, feels right in the background. So we're going to get the manor up right there. Let them build it. Get a highest priority. The church, we imported the mortar, so now we can upgrade the church. And there we have it. A beautiful upgraded church. This is going to slam us hopefully above 80% approval, giving us a +1 passive wealth income for the level 2 burgers plots. And I got to tell you, passive wealth is stupidly important in this game now. So let's check to make sure that we're not overproducing. So we do have 60 rough stone. That's fine. We'll begin to trade some of it. We have 10 clay, so perfect. We found a good equilibrium up there. Eventually we will move into the deep mines, requiring us to maybe put a couple more workers up there. Now coming over to these new plots over here, we're going to want to get them into veggie plots here as soon as possible. And we're still building them out. There we go, 227. So we're over 1,000, so let's get those apples going. Perfect. Next thing we're going to do is try to get the pears going. Right on. So over here, of course, we're going to do cabbage, and then we're going to expand it. What's cool is we got these little side roads so they can get over into the farming areas and any kind of industry that they're working in relatively easily. Okay, now that the manor's up, there's a lot of people over there building. This will allow us to tax. We're going to hold off on that for now. If we did want to take the second region and start growing it, though, we were going to need a little bit of cash up there. We have 28 days until we are attacked, so we desperately need to get our army in check. There we go. Got ourselves an archer and a spear. That should be sufficient to defend ourselves. Alright, large storehouse is now up. We're actually going to move the woodcutter a little bit down over here. And I'm going to get us a bit of a back road off of this farm. There we are. Yeah, that'll be better for him. Logging camp is doing terrific. We should definitely place our forester. We're going to put one family there. Get that going. But we're just going to focus on the local economy that we have here. Now we could produce mortar and sell it, but when you export mortar, it only sells for 1. So I think I'm just going to skip it, right? We got rubble going out. We got dress stone going out. And we got rough stone going out. We're doing really decently. Now, we could start exporting raw clay at some point in the future if we want to mass produce it, which I don't currently want to do. We have a bandit camp that he's going for. Unfortunately, we're about to be hit by the bandits themselves, so that is not something I can do. We're going to get our men out now because they are coming in 5 days. We're going to get up the orchard over here. We're going to get our garden over here for more cabbage. And these double plots here, they're not so bad. The families get to work easy, but I like these because in the long run, you just less families doing work over there. But it's not bad to have the spacings over here. We actually may need an additional granary worker, and as you go into tier 4, you need so many granary workers. So we will definitely need additional granaries. So let's get another worker over here. Yeah, we were hurting just a tad bit there. Okay, we're gonna get them 2 by 2. I have a feeling we're gonna get attacked from either the side here. Now, if they don't come out of the bottom, which they did come out, yeah, they would have come out over here, and the Lord would have taken care of them. So this is the problem. So here they come. We should try to use our territory to our advantage. So I'm actually gonna back us up over here. And we're going to try to use this little narrow valley to fend them off. I'll take my archers and put them there. Take my retinue. Try to guard. Sometimes they slip through the fencing. So let's get into position. There we are. Okay. We're going to put them into stand your ground. Same with these gents over here. Stand your ground. And our archers, let's line them up. Let's put them at shoot at will, because the majority of the damage they're going to do is up close and personal. And these bandits are not going to make it. Alright. We're actually shooting at the bandits from back here, but... you know, they're actually not doing a bad job. They're peppering them. Sometimes that's all you can ask for. Okay. A little bit of pepper action. We got one of the bandits charging on the flank side. So we need to protect ourselves. Here they come. There we go. That's where shoot at will. Right at the point blank, that's where you want it. So we'll make sure we can get those side shots in. You don't want to be shooting from behind, they get kind of messed up. Okay, we're going to push forward. The other bandits are moving in. Let's speed this up just a bit. Okay. Ooh, the bandits are coming in. They're coming in hot. Alright. We've won one battle there. Let's get the rest of them. Bingo. Everyone is gone. We lost one spearman, unfortunately, but that is the name of the game. And they are taking a region over here. Though we do need to take the second region as soon as possible. I would have loved to have not had to tax my people. Oh, geez. I always hit shift instead of control. We're going to do a 10% tax. Try to get that money up. But right now we can actually... here's my problem. I really don't want to go to war with the main lord, but we're just going to claim this region now and save up to build our second city. And we'll start taxing ourselves so we can build up our retinue, but we definitely need to build up an army. And I'm going to do something a little different this time. We're going to build a blacksmith, and instead of going into spearmen, we're going to go into two-handers. I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. We are going to need, at a minimum, a bloomery. So let's build up a bloomery. Well, technically speaking, and someone had pointed this out to me, it's a pretty good observation, right? So let's take a peek. To import iron is 11, right? And to import iron slab is also 11. So you can skip the whole process. You can skip the whole bloomery process just by importing slab itself. And that was a pretty good observation. So let's try it. Let's try it. But you do have to establish a route, but this way we can just import 20. Over here, we're going to get up the pears now. We're good there. And the cabbage. So now we have purchased everything. Let's upgrade the burgage plots. Extend them. That will get our families coming in. This is great. And we're claiming this zone. I'm just going to send my guys over here because I'm a little paranoid. about just anything happening. So we'll just have some people over there. You don't need anybody. Good. It's just healthy paranoia. Order another ox. And we have 512. That's great because we have something to tax. We're going to put one person over here into the livestock trader. And we're going to start importing up to 30 sheep. Once we hit 30 sheep, we'll start butchering all the lambs. You only need 30 sheep to hit the maximum productivity per year. I typically go to 32 actually, just to be a little extra. We have one individual in the camp there. Let's check to see if we can pull back anywhere because we do need some workers. We have 58 rough stone. Okay, we got the 20 iron slabs. So we got the blacksmith coming in. I think we're going to switch primarily to crossbow production now. We're going to cap that at 40. We're going to get rid of the archer militia and go straight into crossbows. Okay, cool. So we did get that region, and we may have to fight for it now. We're going to build towards a colony over there. Let's put this individual to disband. All right, and let's make sure we're tier 2ing everything over here. Some of these will need to be tailors. And we're doing wonderful. Like the amount of money that's coming in. We have 2 available living spaces. Got people producing everything. 5 months of fuel. So we do potentially need to stop exporting fuel now. So we're going to stop that. The blacksmith is going to start producing iron parts. And we are going to cap that. It's good to cap, otherwise you'll just infinitely import and produce more than you need. So those caps are a great feature that was introduced not too long ago, actually. Livestock traders going. We need to get one person into the sheep farm immediately to take care of the sheep that we're purchasing. So what I'm going to actually do is take it out of the forester and then reproc it. That way when we get the next family, he'll go into the forester, but we can immediately start taking care of any sheep that we get. And just one last time so I don't go crazy, we're going to check our elevation. Okay, cool. We're in good shape. So you do not want to put sheep in that area. Fire hazard will be an interesting thing at some point in the future. Oh, that's right. We moved the woodcutter and we didn't put a person over here. Okay, we have 4 months. So let's put him first on the docket and then put the forester second. Gotta remember that stuff. I'm gonna pull back 1, 2, 3 on the quarry just to get a builder. We need to get this stuff built up. And it's amazing because we're importing tools, we're importing everything, and we're still doing, and we're taxing ourselves a little bit now. We're still doing incredibly well. But yeah, we need to get this burgage plot done so they can start planting those pears. It's kind of an imperative. Oh boy. Oh boy, that was bad. That was bad. I'm going to a dark place. A dark place. Very dark place. We're doing okay. We're doing the Lord's work. But we should get the fuel going now. And now the pears will start being planted. Woodcutter's going, the forester's going. Forester is probably desperately needed. There's just not a lot of firewood here, as you can see. And as our crossbow army builds, which is amazing, we already got 22. Crossbows are absurdly powerful. They're more powerful than any unit in the game, in fact. But one of the things we're going to go into is polearms, because they don't need anything else but the polearm to create the unit. So with just the blacksmith and importing slabs, yeah, I'd have to get a joiner to get spears and to get the sidearms if we want this. But we can produce polearms and we can produce crossbows with just these tool buildings right here. And that is honestly very powerful. The sheep farm is going strong. We're pulling in a lot of money. This is going to grow very, very quickly. So a couple of things that we need to do now is get up our weaver's workshop. Now I'm going to place the weaver's workshop right behind here. We're also going to want a tannery at some point, and we can actually put the tannery right over here. We're not going to need it quite yet, but when we do, we'll be happy that it is there. Now we also need to think about the future tier 3s. So we're going to want a tavern. Now, realistically, you can place the tavern anywhere that you desire. It is nice when you incorporate it into the city, but it is not entirely necessary. With that said, I think that we want it to be closer to the granary. So we're going to put it right back here. Gotta be real careful about our mushrooms, okay? Beautiful mushrooms. We're also going to need to upgrade this well, so I can hit 50 burgage plots. We don't want to go over 50 burgage plots because then we have to build additional taverns. This is great. We're going to have our small tavern over here. We're also going to build out a house specifically to be the brewer. And we're going to place the brewer right next to it. And additionally, we're going to be placing our malt house. And we can do snap the road tool now. We're going to be placing the malt house. I think we want it to be close to the brewer. I kind of want it, I don't want it to be like in a row, right? I want it to feel like a block, like a city block. So we're going to do this and that. Okay, perfect. So now we got our little alcohol sector over there. They're starting to do stuff over here. I don't think we have a family that's moved in. So we need to stop building houses and make sure that they move in here so they can start planting. That is actually a big thing you need to think about. We're going to order one more ox. And I do believe we should probably start buying, or I should say building, additional hitching posts. One should do it. We don't need too many. We're only going to have 2 oxes plowing. And we're already off to a very good start. We got 10 sheep. That is beautiful. We could stop purchasing sheep, but I'm going to power level this so that we can just immediately get into a tailor over here. We have 3 free families, so we're going to place 2 of them into the quarry. Get that going, because we're probably hurting a bit on trade. Our fuel is now coming back up to proper levels. We have 13 months of food, so we're doing decent. The primary goal now, though, is to prepare ourselves with war with the Lord, because there's no more territories for him to capture. We should probably look at an additional granary. We gotta be careful about our mushrooms right here. Ooh, we can get away with it. Right there. Yep. Not one mushroom was harmed in the making of this video. I think. Well, not in this particular movement. Nothing was harmed, I should say. And let's order the garden. I don't know. It's supposed to help people not get sick, but I haven't really seen it working. For the manor, let's expand the garrison to... Ooh, we don't have enough lumber. Okay. Make sure that this is level 2. And like I said, we're going to get everything up to tier 2. Want to get that passive wealth coming in. Got to get these burgage plots back here up to tier 2. Now the only thing holding us back is clothing and booze, but we're getting all of that infrastructure up right now. Alright, we definitely need a second family down here. We could double the maintenance. Not a bad idea. It will give us labor speed. I think they'll cut trees down faster, so we're going to double that up. Make our people just a little bit stronger. Order 1 more ox. Turn this hitching post into a small stables. And I think we're getting dangerously close to needing another storehouse worker. We do. We're going to put them into the other storehouse. They're both actively working. Perfect. It should meet our demand over there. Get our approval a little bit higher. Alright, we're going to upgrade the tavern so that it can facilitate 50 burgage plots. We're going to upgrade this burgage plot to level 2 so become a brewer. And this is one of the things where I'm going to kind of segue a little bit from what would be logical. But I actually think importing barley and importing malt can be really efficient because you never know when you're going to get one or the other. And the important thing here is to make sure that you always have enough to produce alcohol. So by setting caps on how much malt can be made at a certain time and in importing it, and importing barley, you keep a really solid production of alcohol without having to produce a single drop of it. Now we do actually have a setup here where we're going to need 3 families to do that. So we got to think about that in the future. Now when we hit tier 3 housing on a lot of these gents, we're going to get a free family. So we may not need to do any more burgage plots to get those farmhands, but we do need to get the alcohol and the clothing as soon as possible so that we don't have to build any additional burgage plots, which we have 19. And that's kind of cool because we can keep it at 20. I like to keep it in increments of 20 to 25 simply because of the way that the market stalls work. So you can see here it's 20. So this one common goods stall can do 20 people. So if I go to 21 burgage plots, I'm going to need an additional market worker to hit 100% efficiency. So it's good to do it in groups of 20. The granary worker, we're right there, we're at peak, right? But every time I increase this burgage level, I'm going to have additional requirements. So I'm going to have to increase my granary workers to make sure that enough goods are available in the stall. Now remember, the supply and demand mechanics aren't consumption. Everything is consumed evenly throughout the granaries. That's why you see me producing one of every fruit, one of everything, okay? Because basically, if there's 50 food consumption, you have 10 food, it's going to consume 5 of each, which means that it's easier to maintain your supply and demand bonuses on those like hard to get items like meat. So the more variety I produce, the less is consumed overall of everything. So it really makes it easy to dial it into 100%, you know. And then pork, we have small game. We're going to turn the pork into sausage. That's why pigs are so important. And if you look in our environment, we have good woodlands. So we're going to produce a lot of leather and a lot of pigs. 59% chance. It's pretty cool. Oh, so now it's pig time to yield decreases by the amount equal to the woodland environment. That is a change. You had a chance to yield more. Now it's just decreasing yield time. Wild animals to produce 2 offspring instead of 1, so that's cool. Mushrooms to grow 1 more resource per clump. So wow, we have a good spot here. This is perfect for mushrooms and animals. And then bark gathering. That will increase. Yeah, yield is increased proportional to woodland environment. They changed a couple things. We have a terrible meadow. Crop, orchard, and veggie yields are increased by amount equal to 30% of the combined meadow effects and apiary affinity bonuses. So that's interesting. Equal to 30% of the combined. So you can't go... Oh, wow. Oh, I see. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. They changed everything. Apiary production time decreases by amount equal. So, and then you can see rural is going up. I think they're starting to get ready to implement a lot more features based off that, because this is the most recent patch. I'm hoping that we see the ox carts here, and I believe that they're related to this, the farming. Okay, so we have 2 people. I think we could probably get away with putting someone over here into the quarry. We need to make sure we're at maximum capacity there. For secondary granary, we want to upgrade. Once I see some wool coming in, we have 59 wool. It is also time for us to think about other things. Okay, so we need to pull one out of the quarry. I think we're going to pull out of the livestock trader as well. We're going to place one into the weaver's workshop, and we're going to upgrade this into a tailor. Start producing clothing. We're going to pull back on clay. We're going to pull back on logging, because now we also need a lot of stuff over here. So this needs to be a brewer. This needs 1 person here. And this needs 1 person here in the malt house. So now we're going to come over to trade. And this is where things are going to get tricky. So we're going to import barley up to 20. We're going to buy a route for it. Also going to import malt. And we're going to import up to 20. And we're going to need a route for that. And it's going to cost us a bit, about 14. Now we do need a family for building, so I got to think real quick. Alright. Let's pull back on clay mining for just a second. Get that last granary built up. Alright, we got booze production. Now, technically speaking, if we don't want to continuously import, we need to set an intelligent limit on ale of 100, and this has been breaking previously, so I'm hoping it doesn't this time. Same with malt. At any given time, I want to have about 30 malt being produced. So we've set limits on everything. And we only have 20 burgage plots, so I'm going to put an overstock of 20. We can go up to 50. This basically just means that we'll have more alcohol here than we need, but I think it will help with the consumption. If we have a massive consumption event, they'll just have more than they need. So that's the cool thing about small little cities, is you can really overdo them. Okay, now that's up. We're going to come over here, put them back. I'm actually going to pull one worker out of this granary and put one over here so that they're just both utilizing all the carts and all the workers. And what's crazy is look how many sheep we have. We have 18 sheep, 10 lambs. We're getting wild. We're going to need a butcher at some point. We're actually going to need 2 butchers. One for butchering the sheep and one for making sausage. All of these will be utilized here. We'll also have, yeah, 2 butchers and then a cobbler. Then over here we need to make sure that it's selected on woolen clothes. So that kind of sucks because it was on linen the whole time. That's alright. They'll get into production here shortly. You can see that we have 68 yarn, so the one worker is more than sufficient currently. So now we're producing alcohol, we're producing clothing. We should see everything come up pretty quick here. We got 578 regional wealth, so we should be able to purchase everything we need. We definitely need to buy, of course, though, that malt trade route. The reason I do both is simply because I don't want any gaps. There we go. Now we can import malt. Now what's cool is if malt production is capped, then barley will import up to that limit I set, and we'll always just have somewhat of an equilibrium. Now, how much malt am I importing? That's the important thing here. Importing 20. So yeah, by setting us at 30, that means we'll always be a little bit ahead of ourselves. Let's do 30. Let's do 40. We'll always be importing barley on top of that. That way we're always just moving forward. All right, we have a ton. So once we get clothing, we'll have alcohol access over here. And these tier 3 homes are going to help us out. We're going to get massive regional wealth increase, and we're going to get more families. Okay, look at that. Our first tier 3 house is going up now. That's beautiful. Perfect. We have an enormous amount of tier 3 houses that we can get up now. Both of these houses right there. Come back over here. All the piggy houses. And this is great because we need these workers. And we're going to immediately switch into the production of agriculture here. So we're going to need a couple of things. Unfortunately, let's see, what are we at? 19 burgers plots. I would have loved to have gotten 2 bakers up. I've loved it. It's still technically possible, but a little pricey. Let's get a back road right here. Give access to these areas. We're going to get a windmill up right back here. 92% efficiency. And a communal oven. What's cool about the communal ovens, though, is they will do everything. Well, the granary's not too far from here. Can we get the oven up right next to the granary? Without touching the mushrooms. Oh, yeah, we can. Right here. Okay, right here. And then we'll have a road connecting to there. Then we'll have easy access to the 2 granaries right next to us. Perfect. The flour can be produced and dragged over from here. It's not a big deal. They'll go from here to over there. Not a big deal. They got carts. They got all types of jazz. So let's see. Order another ox. What's great is we're producing like clay tiles here, so we can go to tier 3 pretty easy. And tier 4. Getting a few more houses up. We can get the brewer up to tier 3. I think we're going to do it just to get more people producing alcohol. Nice, look at that. 100% entertainment bonus. 65%. We're going to need probably additional families here shortly. Okay, this is the important part. So we can get these gents up over here. We're going to need this guy over here for boots. We're going to get one house up over here. We're really close to these mushrooms. Now, the cool way to see mushrooms is simply to go over to Gathering tab, hit the forest drought. So you can see that there's 2 little mushrooms right there. So we want to be really careful that we don't touch those mushrooms. So right here is kind of an excellent spot for a bakery extension. I'm gonna go away from it. There we go. It's gonna be a little weird shaped, but we didn't touch anything over here. Still got 47. That'll be our 20th burgage plot. We're going to turn that into a baker. And I'm not sure. We may alternate. We have to figure out. It's best to have two. One for wheat, one for rye. It really helps you. It's just very good. And technically speaking, I can just get rid of one of my pigs. Or if we wanted to be smart, we could go to 25 burgage plots. And I think that's actually a good idea. I don't think we're going to be able to do everything that I want to do with 20. So let's do that. We're going to have the 2 bakers there. That also gives me 4 more plots that I can use for the pigs. And I think that pigs are pretty darn important. So we're going to do 4 more burgage plots here just for a bunch of little pigs. We need a little bit more pork coming in. So let's wait on that wood and then we'll be ready to go. And we definitely are hitting our sheep limit. We're getting pretty close to hitting a lot of limits. 21 lambs. We need to wait for them to grow up. We no longer even need the livestock trade post. I'm just going to get rid of it. Let's just take... Oh, there's our 8 too. That's kind of funny, yeah. Get rid of the livestock, get our 8. Perfect. All right. I'm liking this a lot more. We'll go for the 25s. That should work out perfect. Get a road around all that. We got 1 free family to help build everything up. Got our tier 3 brewer. Production limit's capped at 100 ale. Malt house is capped at 40. Everything is perfect. Yeah, we're definitely going to need another granary worker. So let's put 1 in the gran. And let's put 1 more into the storehouse when we can. If almost, wow, 14 out. Like, once we start going to tier 3, our population is going to double. It's going to be way easier. We're also going to be bringing in passive wealth from tier 3 housing. Okay, we got an extra family. Now we're going to put 2 into the large storehouse there. That should give us what we need to hit our maxes here. That's great. And then we just need to build everything up. There we go, more tier 3 housing. We're going to try to get our farm plots up. Get those extra families helping out with the harvest. There, wow, we got a lot of tier 3s. And everybody over here can also go to tier 3. I know it means more families not working. Because they're dedicated to their craft, but that's okay. So, I think we got enough crossbows. I'd like to go into polearms now. We get a polearm militia. We're going to get rid of our spears. We're going to go polearm and crossbow. I'm wondering if the logging camp, if you assign the ox, that's how it gets the cart now. Let's try this. Alright, we got Peter. Peter's just chilling. Yeah, let's assign an ox here permanently. Let's also put another family into the logging camp. We're just running really low right now. We got ourselves Peter over here. He's waiting for somebody. Tell him what to do. Okay. Peter is in motion now. Oh, that's... Yep, there we go. So they're going to utilize Peter appropriately. He's still only doing 1 at a time. My understanding is they're supposed to be able to move a lot more. We're running out of space. I think it's for the sheep. Yeah. So once we hit proper 30, we're at 18. What I do in this situation is I just get out another pasture, and then I destroy it when I'm done with it. I want to keep the sheep as close as possible to the sheep farm so I can just get away with the 1 family getting wool. But we are going to need a butcher here. Okay. We do have 2 free families. This is going to kind of mess things up. But whatever. Let's get a butcher. And we need to watch this because they will just... The butcher, when you get him up, he'll just start immediately killing everything. We need to set our proper quotas. There we go. So go to the advanced tab. So what we're going to do is set a proper limit. We want 30 sheep. And we need enough sheep. We need enough lambs right now to grow up. So let's put them on 10. Actually, let's just kill all the lambs. For now. Okay. And I'm just going to import sheep. I'm incredibly lazy. I think I'm just going to do it this way. Let's get rid of the pasture. Because they're taking too long to grow up. Just get the livestock trader back in business here. We need that hide. I need to get leather going. I need to get a bootmaker going. So now we can get a cobbler workshop here. Mining pit, good. We're gonna pull one out of the quarry for a second. Gonna pull one out of the logging camp. We need a builder. We're just gonna get going the old-fashioned way. All right, over here, we're gonna go all in on pigs. We'll use to make sausage. And we're gonna go for 32 sheep. Place that free family in there. We need to get the sheep in. There's just so many competing things right now. And we need to get someone in the tannery as soon as possible. We have 16 places for people to move in. So if we can keep it above 80, we're gonna get 2 migration. See, our monthly migration is +2. So yeah, we'll continue to get families in pretty quickly now. Some of them, though, are moving into trades. That's the problem. Cobbler, just infinitely going to make shoes. Yes, we got 1 family in the tanner. We're in good shape. So now we're getting rid of the lambs. Like I said, you need 30 to get the maximum reproduction. That doesn't mean that you can't just start doing it, right? And then importing the sheep. Yeah, we got 30 hides, so we're going to start making shoes. I'm trying to keep everyone as happy as possible. We got 87 clothing, 62 ale. So we're at 100% entertainment supply there. There we go. So yeah, 14 families are going to move in. A good chunk of them are going to be able to put into the farming. I think we're at a healthy equilibrium now. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to hold off on upgrading these guys to tier 3 because I need to upgrade the dudes that are going to get us workers. Although I should probably upgrade them to tier 3 just to get it going, but no, we'll hold off. Alright, you can see we have a lot of wool, yarn. We're doing really good. We have, it looks like 11 shoes. Things are starting to heat up. So the primary difference, though, at tier 3 is we do need grains as soon as possible. So getting the farming going, definitely advantage there. We need to maintain our trade. So we do need to get 2 in the mining pits, I think, because we're a little low on everything. Yeah, we're low on clay. So let's get 1 more into the mining pit. We still have 888 clay deposit there. This is already infinite with the quarry. You can see carrots, beetroots, cabbage, awesome. Pears, apples, quince, pretty decent. It's just realistically the bread right now. And over here, let's start getting those pigs coming in. Pigs for all. We are technically ready to get our next territory. I'm going to hold off just a tad, though. Okay, we're going to get another individual into the trade post. And I'm actually going to order another horse when I can. But I do need to get our trade all the way up. And we do have excess of certain things like carrots. It wouldn't be too crazy right now to start selling that. But we're going to sell excess carrots. We're going to sell excess beetroots. Let's say anything over 120. Right, we're making good strides now. Just hit small town. Unfortunately, we need a lot of families to keep growing. And I can't wait for us to get more development stuff. It's going to really change the way you think about the game. I'm going to make a perfect city at that point, too. Now, we definitely need more lumber, so I'm going to put 2 families into the logging camp. We're going to now max out the quarry. I think we're good over here with the 2 for clay. And, yeah, food production is going to be big. We, at a minimum, are going to need a good handful. We need 1 for the windmill, and we need at least 1 for the communal oven for now. And then once we get enough people, I'll upgrade the burgage plots there. We're going to need 3 free families over here. Now, I am going to need to assign permanently 2 livestock. That gives us 6 free oxen right now. We do have 1 assigned over to the logging camp, so that's pretty good, actually. We have 18 pigs, 25 sheep. We're pulling in a good amount of meat. You can see we have 45 mutton, 31 pork, 42 small game. We're doing great. Forage goods, 23 mushrooms, but we do have all the vegetables. We do have a bit of a fruit issue, but that's going to be fine. Once they're all mature, they're still not mature. So it's realistically just the grain that is holding us back from maintaining these really high marks. Let's get a tier 3 workshop over here. We're going to tier 3 pretty much everything now. I'm just going to pray that they move into the proper destinations. So let's place one in the windmill. And let's place one in the communal. I know I don't have the goods, but what I'm doing is just prepping, right? Trying to get an idea of what I need. So right now, if we can just get 3 more families, we can start on the farming. I think I'm just going to place one to the farmhouse for now and just let them get to work and do the best they can. And let's just proc the 3 families into the farmhouse. That's more than enough. We technically should probably only need 2, but I'm going to do 3. All right, I feel it's definitely time to look at that. Polearm Militia, 36. Get another crossbow unit. We're building up our army here. So we're going to go back to the blacksmith and have him start creating iron parts again. There we go. Got another family. Unfortunately, they moved into the blacksmith shop. So one of the issues you're going to have in this game is bandits can kind of spawn in weird locations. So let's get our... Oh, I shouldn't have done that. All right, we need at least 250 for that colony. Let's hold off. We need to build up our wealth again. Now that we're increasing clay production and everything, you can see there's a vast amount of trade. So we should start making some serious cash. Let's order another horsey. There we go. And remember, you need to make sure you have enough stable space for the horses, or they won't come. So we should probably get up another hitching post. There's a good spot. Might order a few more ox, or I know we need to order a few more horse at least. Might want to increase our stone mason station. Yeah, we could really start pumping out that. That would make us some cash. We have no builders currently, but that will be remedied here shortly. And we do have the 2 workers. Nope, just the 1. But that's actually kind of cool. We're getting some parts done. So we do have 4 raiders coming in on us right as we speak. So we're going to put this to the test. We got our pokey pokers and we got our stabby stab. Let's do this. All right, they're coming in hot. I'm going to put the stabbers. It's really awesome having 30 of anything. These guys are gonna toss. Eventually we'll get them with proper everything, but this is the whole city is looking so good. I really like looking at it from the bottom up right here. I think it just looks awesome. Okay, here they come. They're coming from the sides. Let's get them 2 tiles deep. I don't know if stand your ground would be warranted for this, but put these guys here. What's awesome now is they're shoot at will for the crossbowmen, but I'm going to hold off on that because I want to make sure we're utilizing because they're running amok, right? Let's pause real quick. What's going on over here? Got 2 little horsies chilling out. We got a bunch of banditos everywhere. All right, so with these units, they are not defensive. You need to just go for it, right? So let's watch these guys at work. These guys are massive. All right, we got that unit down. So with these guys, you charge. All right, perfect. Got banditos over there. I haven't used Polearm Militia in a bit, but they used to be my go-to unit. I used to just do 4 of these, and you can pretty much take... You get them armored up, you can take out anybody with them. Yeah, these... It's Pike Shot, right? Pike Shot. It's just stupidly powerful. Look at that. We took out everybody. Whoa, these guys are going crazy. But with this, we can take on it pretty much anybody. There's not a whole lot that can stand up to this kind of firepower. Now, we do have bodies. I just let them disappear, honestly. It's faster. All right, we got 2 families now. Which means we have 2 dedicated people plowing. This is perfect. We should be perfectly able to get our maximum yields. And we're almost mature on everything over here, so that's great. Look at that. We moved in. Let's get this up to tier 2. We need to get to tier 3 on these gents over here, though, for the bakery. So we'll start producing bread, and that will help us move into tier 4 territory. We just need 1 grain to get to tier 4 now. And tier 4 is amazing. So we got a lot. We're going to have more families than we know what to do with, so we got to be a little careful. I may actually end up doing a little bit more agriculture because of that. We got to be... I mean, we're running out of wood. We're running out of a lot of things. It would probably be in our interest to do a little bit more. You can see the emmer fertility is kind of quickly lining up with this area here. We'll probably put 1 more, 2, and 3 right here. And barley fertility just sucks pretty much everywhere in the world here. Except for up there, which isn't really viable, or over here. And, I mean, honestly, not a terrible area over there. I feel like we're able to meet our needs through imports. And I'm trying to keep this all structurally sound. Not a bad spot. It's just so... we'd have to have a whole nother operation over there. We've already kind of clear-cut everything here. I think what we should probably end up doing is just moving the lumber industry over here. Which is what we're going to do. I know it's a sad day. But whatever. They'll get over it. We don't need too many ox over there. Just around 4. So we're gonna destroy this road. We're gonna move the forest. We're gonna just leave this the way it is. And we'll put the forester over here. Now it's time for those ox to really shine. And then we can get a road down this farming plot. There we go. Get this road down here. That will allow us quick travel. Probably move the Woodcutter's Lodge. We're going to do another farm here. I think the Woodcutter Lodge is actually like perfect right there. We're going to get rid of this road. I think 3 additional farming is going to be necessary for this setup. Get this proper. And I think we're going to need 1 more farmhouse, simply because I want to be able to have as many ox out at the same time as possible. We're going to place them there. And additionally, we're going to place a couple hitching posts in the back right here. Upgrade that to a stable. Alright, we have 7 free families. 1 needs to go into the Woodcutter Lodge there. And 2 in the logging camp over here. And then 1 in the Forester. And we need to reassign our area as this spot here. Very good. Throw a bunch of stuff over here. This is perfect. And we'll move a few more into the small stables there. That gives us 3 families. And that's actually pretty good. This will help reduce a lot of our costs. So we're going to get up a big plot here. Going to be a single. It's probably going to be close to 1.5. 1.6, we'll take it. 1.5 is about as high as I like to go. And 1.6 is pretty darn close. Good enough. But we got to wait for them to move these supplies. And let's get the plowing station. And let's upgrade both of these hitching posts. Now, once we hit 30 sheep, which we did, we no longer need the livestock trader. So we'll just destroy this. Get another family out of that. For the manor, we should definitely start building out the garrison tower. Get to that. Okay. These burgages can now go to level 3. And we can get our baker going. Speed this up. We're back in business. Now, I didn't do any charcoal trade this time. We just didn't really need to. Okay, so farming is the next step. Okay, so I took a little bit of a time warp to make things easier. We got up our second region. I placed modest burgage plots of each type over here, right? A central granary to everything. A storehouse here that is fully dedicated to everything but salt. We have another warehouse for that. We have a woodcutter here, a saw pit here, our markets and well centrally located. Down here, a logging camp for this area. We have rich hunting camp here and berries right here with the foraging camp. This is our food producer and basic living goods, okay? And then over here, we have a mining pit and the salt mine. We have 1134 before we have to go into the deep mine. We have a storehouse over here, which we're now going to upgrade into a large storehouse, and we are just trading salt. That's the whole purpose of this place. Built a few houses so that we have workers for the mining pit and the trade post, and that's all this zone is going to be. We're just going to leave it as a tier 1 town, and we're going to feed it all here. We've upgraded almost everything to tier 4, except for the tier 3 plots. And that's because currently in this patch, so tier 3, see I have a 225 pantry. Well, on a level 4, you have a 7, it says 50 here because it's a single, but the doubles only have 75. And there's something going on right now. So I'm leaving my dudes as tier 3, which sucks because I'm missing out on that +1 per burgage plot over here, right? So we're getting +4 per burgage plot. It's pretty amazing, and we're able to import a lot of stuff. Now, I've also gone into trade and opened up new routes. We're importing rye sheaves and wheat sheaves, okay? So we are awesome. We have multiple farmhouses now. Good thing going. I am questioning whether the barley is even worth it, quite honestly, but it is offsetting everything. And we have a few buildings now that need to go to tier 4. We need to get those grains coming in, and we have our fruits finally coming in at full maturity. So things should be good. So we're going to come back over here, and we're going to start importing salt as well. And we're only going to import salt if we can get it from a local source. I currently have our butcher set to only produce about 30, because that's all we need for the supply and demand market mechanics. So over here in crafting materials, we're going to come down and we're going to look at salt, go to import, uncheck, allow foreign trade. Now we can import it at 5, and we're going to import around 20. We're going to buy a trade route for it because we can. We've maxed out our trading posts. We've got our horses coming in. Things are actually pretty good over here. We're pretty much there. We have 6 unassigned families, and we just need to keep everything going. We also have a sizable army. We've got 2 polearm militia and a bunch of crossbows, so I'm hoping to get a few more citizens so that we can raise a pretty sizable army to go after the Lord. Overall, we're making great progress. Things are coming along. I'm pretty stoked about the salt trade over here. Need to watch it, so we need to make sure we're getting everything up. Now we need to make sure we have stables for the horses to go to. They can't go to a hitching post. Gotta get that up too. I'm pretty certain we're going to leave all of this alone and just use it for its functionality as a salt mining town. We're going to call it Saltington. Now we did choose Nuremberg Prospectors because we get improved mine integrity and mining import discounts and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Increased retinue cost kind of sucks. Improved armors. I mainly just got it so that proximity mines don't factor into collapse. And it's pretty cool. Maintenance durability of all mines is increased by 30%, so that's pretty neat too. Now in the trade post, we're exporting salt, we're importing tools. So now what we can do is go the distance here, boot that up, mining pit going. We do have one large storehouse here. We should not have a market stall here. His entire life mission is just coming over to the salt, bringing it back, helping with trade, all that jazz. Now we can order a horse because we will have this small stable up by then. We have 6 free families, and I think we should just go all in on the salt over here and get more families into trade. I think 3 is fine. There's not a whole lot of trade action going on here, but it's going to be enough to generate substantial wealth. Second objective that we have now is just to get some of the basic things going in this town, which of course means that we need to get some Jesus. Gotta get that Jesus. We're gonna get that right here. Now we're just gonna leave this as a tier 1 farming community. I am gonna get all the basic stuff. So we're gonna get cabbage, we're gonna get beetroots, we're gonna get the quince. We'll get apples and pears going as soon as we can afford it, which should be pretty soon. And what's cool is we're selling at a discount to ourselves, but we're still making money. Now, one issue that we're having right now is that the storehouse worker is full here, so we need to upgrade that immediately because we're not pulling in any meat because they have nowhere to take these pelts. Again, one of my biggest pet peeves, I have nowhere to take the firewood, but we're sitting pretty. Okay, so they're going to upgrade the storehouse, build at the church. And then we'll look at getting a manor up over there. Get our retinue. Also get some taxation going on. We got 510. I'm just going to preemptively upgrade this to a deep mine because I don't want to have to think about it. And then we're going to take a peek. We have 187 yarn, an ungodly amount of clothing, but I think that will go down. Good amount of fuel, 118 rough stone. We're doing a little too well, in fact. No trade on the border. I don't know why they put that. Export anything over 30. Import anything there. Export roof tiles. Export stone. Got a little bit of export action on the carrots. Got a lot of cabbage. I could start exporting cabbage. I just don't really want to... They got a lot. I got a lot of things I'm trading. Another thing that we can trade over here, which is kind of a hop, skip, and a jump, though, is we do have an ungodly amount of pelts. So we're going to export all pelts, too. We will buy a trade route for that. Okay, so we got that salt action going on. They should be bringing in quite a bit. Got 63. Last time I did 2 mines on a rich salt deposit, I had like 2,000 salt, and it got real crazy. Again, we're just going to leave everyone at tier 1. Quince. And when we get there, we'll get there. Okay, now that the church is up, let's upgrade the granary to reduce spoilage. But we have ourselves a quaint little town over here. We have 40 leather, and I think something's wrong with the cobbler. Waiting. Okay, something's wrong. We're going to reload. Beautiful. All right, so let's come back to the cobbler and see if reloading fixed anything. I'm going to undo the time. All right, so we have the leather here. The cobbler is having issues. It says that building is requiring maintenance. Cobbler's workshop. Okay, so for some reason, it's under the impression that we need maintenance over here. It's actually glitched out, so we gotta destroy the oh, can't. People are inside. Alright, there we go. We're gonna have to unfortunately destroy it, because I've never had that glitch before. We'll just get up a new house. That was causing some issues right there for us being able to level up those last guys to tier 4. I still have not seen one ox cart this whole time playing. I got my horsies. Alright. We'll get this burgers plot up to tier 3. Turn it into a cobbler. I'm going to give us one more granary worker, just because I feel like we need it to help with everything. You can see that we are turning the pork into sausage, giving us a nice meat variety. We have a lot of wheat bread, 0 rye bread, and that could be an issue here momentarily. Let's come over here and make sure that when we upgrade to tier 4, it didn't switch them both. Wheat, okay, yeah, we're good. I think what we're also going to do is put 2 people into windmill. 3 families there. Place an additional family into the farmhouse to help with the thrashing. Okay, and then get this to tier 3 and turn it into a cob. I'm going to pop up over here, just check in, see what we're doing. At 18, let's see how much we have, 18. So I think we're going to turn this into a deep core mine here pretty darn soon. But right, for now, we're just going to leave it alone. And let's come over here and start getting apples and then pears. This will give us just a really baseline of all the things we need. It's amazing how just pulling up the maintenance, though, can really get you some massive yields. You don't really need that many mines anymore. Rubblestone's gone down to 1, that's okay. Alright, so we're ready to turn this into a cobbler. Beautiful. Get them boots. Hopefully we don't have any more issues there. That was kind of weird. Alright, so now they're transporting, going for a drink, crafting. We're back in business. The cool thing, too, is we accumulated a lot of leather. Over here, we're sitting on 625. We got everything that we wanted, so let's get the manor up. I'm going to get the manor up, honestly, like right over here. Let's see, do we have enough? We do not. We need a little bit of stone. Okay. There's a little bit of stone over here that we can get. We could also just import it from our own region, but it's right there. Just use the stone gatherer camp. I'm going to put it here because I can see it. And look at that, 100% on all. I would grow something here, just scared. Thinking maybe we'll do goats, but I don't want the granary worker running all the way down here. I mainly just want the hides that they produce, because we could start exporting hides. So over here, I think what we'll do is allow hides. Export the hides to ourselves over here, and the mutton. Pretty much all the meats you can export to yourself. Alright, we got 16 shoes now. So everything over here is tier 4, except for the farm plots, as I explained. And it's just a few dudes over here that aren't tier 4. Here we go, blacksmith tier 4. I think the biggest drawback is you're actually losing, like I said, you're actually losing pantry size. So you go down to 50, 30. I really hope they fix that. But look at that. At tier 4, all we're missing is footwear. We have 3 types of fruits, animal produce, 3 types of meat or fishes, 2 types of grain, 2 types of vegetables, fuel, garments. Just need them to get back on track with that footwear. Alright, butcher shop going to tier 4. Cobbler going to tier 4. Hopefully it doesn't break it. And the butcher shop over here still needs people to move in, I think. Or we just aren't hitting 100. Yeah, we're at 99%, and it's the furthest house. We'll be there in a second. There we go. Butcher's tier 4. So we got everything tier 4 here. It's going to generate extreme passive wealth. We're going to watch for the elusive ox cart. One day. Oh, we had a... Yep, that's a tier 4. You can see how many people... So it's tier 4, 3 people. Tier 4, 3 people. Pretty dope. Want to get someone in the church? They bury the dead of your town as people perish. You see we don't have any tombstones or anything around us. There we go. Tier 4 all the way around. Let's just make sure that things are working here, right? Transporting, crafting. Okay, cool. So now we'll have some extra bootmakers. Also, mainly the soldiers. We're getting the soldiers. I'm feeling pretty good about everything over here. We're importing everything we need. We've hit 100% on pretty much all these plots, so that's perfect. And then over here, you can see we have a lot of money as well. And we've already spent everything we needed to. They're all good to go. So the only thing now we can do is tax them. So as soon as they get the manor up, we'll start taxing. And we did get the stone gather up over here, so let's place a family right there. And now it's time to start eyeing expansion. And by start, I mean let's do it. We have 3.1 thousand. We need 2 per. I would say over here we potentially start a tithe. So we'll do 10. We'll do 10%. We just need 1,000. We actually only need 900 more influence. But it's time to let him know who is boss. It's us. We're boss. I didn't get any armor or whatever, and I don't really need it. So not with that many crossbowmen. And let's get a few retinue. I'm gonna save my money. Let's get these guys out here. I'm also gonna hire mercenaries because I'm not gonna play around with this guy. We're only gonna hire a few. Anything over a few is overkill. We definitely have enough money to do a whole mercenary army if I wanted to. He's gonna... You know what? Screw this guy, right? Sometimes overkill is fun. I don't know if I can support this. This is a lot. Yeah, honestly, this is a little bit of money. But we got 18 grand. Or 1,800, I should say. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to get everybody there. And then we're going to take that region. And he's going to have no one to pull from. We hired all the mercenaries. We're pulling at him. This is what the Lord always does to me. Hires all the mercenaries, so there's nobody left. Okay, so everything... Oh, shoot. Okay, so we got the banditos. So I'm just going to use these mercenaries over here to fight the banditos. I don't even... I mean, like, I don't even need them, right? So let's fight. You know what's actually a really funny thing to do? Since the bandits are over there, they'll have to fight the Lord. So let's go to war with the Lord. With that army up there. And then this army down here. Alright, and the battle's here. We're gonna fight in the middle of this battlefield. Get everyone into picture. This is crazy. I'm actually gonna run everybody. Okay, so yeah, now his units will pop out over there somewhere. Now they didn't pop out. It's okay. We'll just kill everybody ourselves. And these mercenaries are armor, so that's pretty darn awesome. Yeah, we're gonna smash them up. Anything they send out of here, I'm just gonna attack with the mercenaries to kind of pepper them up. Yeah, here they come. The bandits are attacking their units. We're moving out over here. We're just gonna be ready for them. Okay, so I'm gonna get everyone I can here. Get the mercs there. I think what I'll do is actually take these units here. We'll just let everyone get into position. Fortunately, like I said, these guys are about to go on a suicide mission just because I really have nothing else to do with them. They're already here, right? So who do we want to kamikaze? I'd like to take out their range, but let's move in on their infantry. Actually, let's hold up. Yeah, we got a lot. Let's let them come to us. Let's see how much damage we can do. We're fighting the band. Ooh, dude, they got a lot of units still. Wow. How did they get so many? Guess we better fight. You stand your ground on everybody. Let's just try to hold them. Because technically speaking, I am winning the battle by holding them back. Now let's shoot at will on these dudes. Ah, screw it. Let's surround this guy. Yeah, we're gonna surround and beat up this dude right here. This is a good thing going on. Oh, the bandito. Nope, that's their base unit. I actually hate these guys, so I'm gonna go for them. If I can get these guys out of the way. They always flank your archers. Dude, they're sending so many units. They are sending every unit known to man. Okay. So we have more archers than common sense here. Get that. Guys. Get you guys here. So I think that these guys could go in the shield wall, but that only really protects you against arrows. So not really anything going on there. We have a lot of range support here. Go back over here. So yeah, we were able to get some of their army off. We're actually doing a pretty good job. Let's just keep pushing. Yeah, they're actually losing quite a bit of men. Alright. It looks like they sent in some assistance. These sword units are pretty good though. You know, they got their base sword. Some of them have clubs and shield, which is pretty darn powerful. Even in modern times, that would hurt. So let's go out of that. Turns. Okay, the archers are gone. Giving ground. Okay, these guys are pretty much toast. So let's come back over here and let's just wait. The important thing is we really hurt these guys. So when they come in to range of all of my archers, they're going to be like half health, half HP. It means we'll be able to down enough of them very quickly that they'll start routing. Oh boy, I got startled. I got startled big time. Okay. So you can see we got a lot going on here. Let's actually protect our flank. The battle is beginning. Alright, so they are in range of every single person I have back here. This is going to be insane. Alright, their back archers are there. We're gonna charge in. Our archers are about to cream them, though. Oh, wow. Yeah, we broke them. Pull back. Oh, geez, I thought it was the last unit. Thought it was the last unit. It was not the last unit. Pull everyone back into formation. Okay, here comes the storm. This is where you lay the trap. Now that they're coming from the side, we push out. Our men push out. Everyone push out. There we go. This is why the two-handers are gods. Those two-handers will chase. They're light units. They're very good. There we are. Oh, he's declared war on me, so we gotta get back. Alright. He doesn't have any forces really to come at me with, because we destroyed everybody. So we're just gonna chill here for a bit and see what happens. We're losing a bit of money because we don't have the men working, but over here you can see we're pulling in a healthy penny. I'm actually gonna get rid of the mercenary units here in a second. Nothing else changes. Looks like they're sending a last-ditch effort now, though. They caught me right before I sent them away. They're going to approach from the north. Alright, the battle has begun. And they're still very far away. Okay, it looks like they have an archer unit in the woods. Oh shit, they came up behind me. They came up right behind me. There we go. That's not bad. They try to sneak attack us, and that's why you keep your units off to the side. We're going to charge in with our gents. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Chasing them off. We need to come in to assist our men. I'm going to keep these guys in formation. Take these spears and put them up here, because we do have another army approaching from the north. But we'll come in here with our two-handers. Now, these two-handers are going to make mincemeat out of this retinue here. Crossbow bolts are coming in, picking them off the sides. Yeah, they're going down quick. Get these archers. I'm going to help out our swordsmen here. They're two-handers. Yeah, we're reaming them. Broke. Now we just need to smash. Hulk smash. Alright, that wasn't bad. So we won. They didn't get their men here in time, so they're going to bugger off. We won the battle. With all that said, we have enough of everything. I say we press. I say we go the distance. I don't like them. That's what I'm getting at. And let's also build out our next town. We're going to get a settlers camp up here with Plentiful. Pause the game real quick. We're making a march on the last area they have. We have a massive mushroom empire here. We're not going to do any kind of sheepage or anything here. This is just going to be a basic little house. We're going to keep it real simple. This is more of like an outpost town than anything. Get some veggies up, some basic stuff like that. Let's get a road here. I think the majority of our forestry should go over here. So let's just get a basic logging camp and a woodcutter. And then, since we have so many resources, we can do things like getting a storehouse up immediately, placing a granary right here, essentially located between it and fish. Now the fish are all the way down here, and I think we can get a road like this. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately you can't go up and down, and you can't build elevators in this game. I really wish you could. So we'll get a fisherman hut right up down here. Right up down. Okay. And then we'll get a forager hut. Up, down, left, right here. Let's go over this direction, right to the granary. Perfect. So we'll also want, I think, just a speckle of other little burgage plots. Such. Good. Let's just let them deal with the basics here, but get 4 houses. Let's make sure that the logging camp is the very first thing they get up, followed by the hitching post. We'll put that up to the highest priority. You can see we start with 150. So let's get ourselves another ox. Okay. So we're on the march. We've taken this region from them. We're establishing a small little town. I'm going to let them run. Over here we do have a deep ore mine. Let's boot that up to max. Okay. The money should flow now. We're keeping everyone really happy. Check it out. 97%. I'm going to put one more worker into the granary here. If I can. We can't. We're actually missing families. So, whew. Take one out of the deep core mine there. Put it in here. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to take... We only really need 2, and we'll just max it out to get their productivity high. I need at least 1 free family, though. We have 100 bodies buried over there. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. So here we are. On the edge of glory. We're paying a lot of money. So we need to go and do this as soon as possible. I need to let their stamina recoup. We're just gonna chill in their region. Sounds kind of weird. And let's get this going. Alright. So this is gonna be kind of a big battle in a field. And that is not ideal, but it's where we're at. It's not ideal because their archers are going to come at us. So let's get our men to the sides. Let's get our dudes in the back. Alright. Yeah, we're going to try to get kind of like a little bit of a flying V formation. I'm going to get some left flank support. This is looking pretty. So we'll use them as meat shields. And we're going to go straight for them. We're going to claim with influence, and this will be the final battle. This is perfect. So we got the logging camp up. Let's get 2 families in there, just going ham. And let's see, what else are we getting up? It up? Nope. Alright, we're getting the houses up. Here they come. Oh, that is a big army too. This is going to be a big battle. The last battle is always pretty big. Let's actually get tighter formations on our men. They're not tight formations. Let's get tight formations. Guys, much tighter. Guys, spread out a bit more. I'm gonna pull these dudes back just a tad. Pull these guys back just a tad too. Alright, I think we got it going on. These guys are actually pretty cool because they get... We'll do shield wall with them. Do shield wall with everybody. Alright, the battle has begun. We did it. We won. Well, guys, that was ridiculously exciting. We got every region in the game, defeated the Lord, built out some pretty simple but very viable builds. Thank you guys so much for watching. Special shout out to my patrons and members. Dead Villagers 240. Whoa, how did that happen? In-game population 297. That's actually a really low population. Anywho, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.